It was only a few seconds, grainy, distorted, probably recorded from a secured distance, and almost certainly not meant for public eyes. But those few frames were enough to send shockwaves across the defense world. A sleek angular aircraft, dark, smooth, silent, glides across a runway. Moments later, a flash. Not an explosion, not a vapor trail, just a disappearance. Something was there, then it wasn't. The internet buzzed, analysts scrambled, the Pentagon declined to comment, and military observers asked the same question. What did we just see? The answer might be this: the first visual confirmation of something the US Air Force has never admitted publicly. A capability on board the F-47 NGAD that could redefine aerial warfare. A weapon, a maneuver, a system. No one's entirely sure. But one thing is certain: the 6th generation revolution isn't coming, it's already here. Section 1. Origins of the F-47. To truly understand the F-47, you have to step back to a very different era, the mid-2000s. At the time, the skies still belonged to America. The F-22 Raptor was unmatched in air-to-air combat. The F-35 was beginning its global rollout, promising data fusion, stealth, and battlefield dominance. On paper, the US owned the air, but inside classified briefings and Pentagon war games, a different picture was emerging. Adversaries, especially China, weren't trying to match America plane for plane. They were building around it. Layered air defenses, massive radar networks, over-the-horizon missile systems, and space-based infrared sensors. A strategy designed to nullify the one thing the US had counted on for decades: air superiority. Stealth alone was no longer a trump card. The battlefield was changing. That realization triggered a quiet but seismic shift. In 2014, DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, launched something small and largely unnoticed at the time: the Air Dominance Initiative. It wasn't a formal aircraft program. There was no request for proposals, no prototypes, no press releases. Instead, DARPA asked a different question: what comes after 5th generation? They weren't looking for the next F-22. They were looking for a technological leap, ideas that didn't fit into traditional development timelines, concepts too exotic, too ambitious, or too classified to be publicly discussed. It was less about building a jet and more about exploring the future of air combat itself. By 2016, those concepts were quietly evolving. Some involved exotic propulsion, others focused on full-spectrum stealth. Digital design was beginning to mature. Engineers could now simulate entire aircraft digitally, testing aerodynamics, heat signatures, radar cross-sections, without cutting a single piece of metal. And by 2018, those simulations were no longer theoretical. Eye-driven modeling tools and advanced materials research had advanced so rapidly that the Pentagon made a decision to move from theory to airframe. Then in 2019, something extraordinary happened, though almost no one outside a very tight circle knew it. A full-scale NGAD demonstrator took to the skies. This wasn't a wind tunnel model or scaled-down test bed. This was a real, full-size aircraft, built, tested, and flown in total secrecy. Its existence wasn't publicly acknowledged for nearly a year, but its flight marked a turning point. It proved that digital engineering wasn't just a buzzword, it was a revolution. Aircraft that once took 20 years to design could now be built in 4 or 5. Capabilities once relegated to science fiction were becoming real. Inside the Air Force, momentum accelerated. The old way of doing things, endless testing, bureaucratic delays, trillion-dollar programs, was being reimagined. By 2025, the Air Force made its move public. Boeing had been selected to lead the manned portion of NGAD, the part that would become known as the F-47. But with that announcement came a stunning twist. The aircraft wasn't in development, it was already in manufacturing. Actual production had begun, months, maybe years earlier, before the public even knew what to call it. No prototypes on display, no public rollout, just quiet assembly lines, assembling the most advanced fighter in American history. And then, nothing. The Pentagon didn't elaborate. There were no performance briefings, no photos, not even confirmation of how many had been built. That silence, it wasn't hesitation, it was intentional. Because while the F-47's existence was no longer a secret, what it could do remained one. Section 2. What makes the F-47 different? The F-47 is not just a better stealth jet. It's not an upgraded F-22. It's a redefinition of what a fighter jet can be. From its range, to its invisibility, to the intelligence inside its systems, this aircraft was engineered to win a war no one wants to fight, but everyone is preparing for. Range. Reaching the unreachable. The F-47 wasn't designed for Europe or for the Middle East. It was built for the Pacific, the largest, most complex theater on Earth, a place where vast ocean stretches separate targets by hundreds or thousands of miles, where tankers can't always operate safely, and where the difference between surviving and failing often comes down to how far you can go and how fast you can get there. Most fifth-generation jets operate within a limited radius. The F-22 Raptor, for instance, has a combat radius of roughly 500 nautical miles. The F-47, it's expected to exceed 1,000 nautical miles, nearly doubling the reach of its predecessor. This isn't just a number on a spec sheet. This range reshapes every tactical scenario. It means fewer refueling stops, longer time over target, the ability to strike deep without exposing vulnerable assets like tankers and AWACS. And behind that capability lies a revolution in propulsion, adaptive cycle engines. Unlike traditional jet engines, which operate in a single performance mode, adaptive engines can change their operating profile mid-flight. Need maximum thrust for a quick escape or intercept? It delivers. Need maximum fuel efficiency for a long-range patrol? It switches gears, literally, in flight. Some sources suggest this allows the F-47 to supercruise at speeds above Mach 2. That means cruising at supersonic speeds without using afterburners, without producing a blinding heat signature, and without tipping off every radar array and thermal satellite in the hemisphere. In short, the F-47 can get in fast, stay long, and get out unseen. Stealth across the spectrum. Fifth-generation aircraft like the F-35 revolutionized stealth by reducing radar cross-section, making them hard to detect with conventional radar systems. But in a future conflict, radar is just one piece of the puzzle. China is building vast infrared tracking networks, passive detection arrays, electro-optical sensors, high-altitude drones and satellites designed to track heat, not radar bounces. So the F-47 goes beyond radar evasion. It's designed for multispectral stealth, the ability to disappear across radar, infrared, visual, and even acoustic signatures. The tailless shape plays a huge role. No vertical stabilizers mean fewer reflective angles, but the real magic may lie in its skin, a fusion of advanced materials engineered to scatter, absorb, and even redirect incoming signals. There are rumors, some plausible, some wild, about the use of ceramic composite coatings that dissipate heat across the airframe, preventing the kind of hot spots that infrared sensors latch onto. Others point to metamaterials, engineered surfaces that bend electromagnetic waves in unnatural ways, and the most speculative, plasma shielding, using electrically charged gas to create a temporary energy field around the aircraft, distorting radar and infrared signatures in real time. These sound like science fiction, but 10 years ago, so did the idea of a digital co-pilot, and that's exactly what's flying in the F-47. Sensors plus the AI brain. Calling the F-47 a fighter jet sells it short. It's more like a flying supercomputer, wrapped in a stealth shell and armed with everything the Pentagon could invent in 15 years of black budget research. Its sensor suite is unmatched. Radar, infrared, optical, LiDAR, and electronic warfare systems, all feeding into a single brain. But unlike the fighters of the past, where the pilot had to manage this deluge of information alone, the F-47 brings a new kind of partner into the cockpit. Artificial intelligence. AI doesn't fly the plane, at least not entirely, but it assists in ways no human can. It filters incoming data, prioritizes threats, jams frequencies, assigns drone escorts, suggests evasive maneuvers, even recommends weapon loadouts and strike vectors. This isn't a glorified autopilot, it's an AI battle manager designed to amplify the pilot's thinking, speed, and awareness in real time. And it's not operating in a vacuum. The F-47 is designed to network with everything: satellites, next-gen AWACS platforms, naval task forces, and most importantly, collaborative combat aircraft, or CCAs. Those are the semi-autonomous drones that will fly alongside the F-47, some acting as scouts, others as decoys or missile carriers. The F-47 is their leader, a command node that guides them into combat, distributes tasks, and adapts mid-mission. In effect, the F-47 turns one pilot into an entire squadron. Weapons, beyond kinetics, The armament of the F-47 is just as forward-thinking as its airframe. We know it will carry the AIM-260 JATM, America's next-gen air-to-air missile, designed specifically to outrange China's PL-15, faster, smarter, deadlier. We also know it's built to launch the HACM, a hypersonic cruise missile capable of hitting high-value targets at extreme distances. That means hardened bunkers, moving ships, radar installations, all within striking range, even if they're deep inside enemy territory. But here's where things get murky and electrifying. In the leaked footage that sparked this entire discussion, the target doesn't explode, it doesn't break apart, it just disappears. No missile contrail, no visible impact, no sound, just a distant structure. There one frame, gone the next. That's led to explosive speculation. Could it have been a kinetic kill vehicle? A projectile moving so fast it obliterates the target without an explosive warhead? Or was it something more exotic? A microwave weapon, capable of frying electronics and rendering systems useless without physical damage? Or the most provocative theory, a laser? If that's true, then the F-47 has just become the world's first operational airborne directed energy platform. A jet that can fire beams of focused energy at targets miles away, silently, instantly, with zero warning. Officially, the Pentagon has never confirmed this capability. Unofficially, they've refused to deny it, and that may be the most telling sign of all. Section 3. The leak. It was less than 15 seconds of grainy footage. No audio, no commentary, just a shaky handheld frame showing a sleek black aircraft idling on a dusty runway. But within hours, that clip had ignited a storm across the defense world, a firestorm of speculation, skepticism, and quiet panic behind closed doors. What made it different wasn't just what was seen, it was what wasn't. The aircraft, angular and unmistakably tailless, sits low to the ground. Its surface reflects almost no light, matte, black, and seamless. Its shape alone is enough to suggest something exotic, but then it begins to move, smoothly, powerfully. It rolls down what appears to be a desert runway, possibly Groom Lake or China Lake, though no location is confirmed, and lifts slightly, nose angled but still low. In the distance, barely visible, is a small ground target. Some believe it's a mock missile launcher. Others say it's a radar trailer or mobile command post. Whatever it was, it's there for just a few seconds until it's not. Then something happens. There's no visible missile fired, no jet exhaust, no sonic boom, no audible cue at all. Just a momentary shimmer, a visible distortion in the air, like heat waves compressed into a tight beam, and then the target is gone. Not destroyed, not exploded, gone. No smoke, no debris, no fireball, just absence. Some compared the moment to a scene from science fiction, a cloaked ship firing a directed energy weapon. But this wasn't fiction, this was footage, and within hours of surfacing, it had gone viral on military blogs, defense forums, and encrypted group chats of aviation insiders. Former pilots, analysts, even weapons engineers began weighing in. Some insisted it was CGI, a well-timed fake, but digital forensics experts dug in fast. Frame-by-frame analysis revealed heat signatures in the correct spectrum. Light scatter matched real-world lensing. Dust displacement on the runway was consistent with physical motion. The environmental effects, distortion, lens flare, atmospheric flicker, all matched real footage. The verdict? If it was a fake, it was the most convincing fake ever made, and one with access to classified airframes, desert runways, and next-gen targeting optics. That left only one conclusion. The footage was authentic, and it might have shown something that no one, not the Pentagon, not defense contractors, not even international observers, was supposed to see. Within 24 hours, the video was gone, scrubbed, removed from most platforms. DMCA takedowns hit every known copy. Accounts that posted it vanished. The original uploader never came forward, but by then, it was too late. Screenshots had circulated, analysts had saved frames, and the questions were out there, multiplying like wildfire. Was this a test of the F-47's rumored directed energy weapon? A hypersonic micro-munition traveling too fast for the eye to follow? Or a new kind of electronic warfare system that didn't just jam a target, but erased it? No one inside the government would say. No public statement, no confirmation, just silence. And for seasoned observers of military secrecy, that silence was as loud as a detonation, because sometimes when something classified leaks, the reaction tells you everything. Section 4. Why the silence? Since its inception, the F-47 has operated from behind a curtain, one of the tightest security veils ever placed over a military aircraft. There have been no official photos, no hangar walkthroughs, no demo flights for the press. Every image the public has seen is a digital render, an approximation, and those approximations, they're likely deliberate misinformation. This secrecy isn't just about hiding hardware, it's about shaping perception, creating space for uncertainty. Even its designation, F-47, remained unspoken until recently. For years, insiders called it NGAD, the Next Generation Air Dominance Platform. A concept, a placeholder, a rumor with wings, but now the name is out. And yet, almost nothing else is. We don't know how many have been built. We don't know where they're deployed. We don't know what technologies have made it past the prototype phase and into operational use. There's no known squadron, no base commander, no tail number registry. That absence of information, it's not an accident, it's strategy. It's called strategic ambiguity, and it forces potential adversaries to prepare for every possibility, even the ones that may not exist. If China believes the F-47 can engage from 1,200 miles away, it has to build defenses for 1,200 miles. If Russia thinks it carries a laser that can knock satellites out of orbit, it must invest in shielding, redundancy, and rapid response. Whether the F-47 actually can do those things becomes irrelevant. The threat becomes real enough. This approach isn't new. During the Cold War, the US deliberately exaggerated, and sometimes downplayed, capabilities to keep the Soviet Union guessing. What's different now is the scale of that ambiguity, and the pace at which it's evolving. For the Pentagon, keeping the F-47's true abilities classified serves multiple purposes. It protects sensitive breakthroughs, it discourages copycat development, and it creates psychological overmatch, where even rumors become weapons. But the leaked footage changed the equation. Strategic ambiguity works when the only thing the enemy has is speculation, when the battlefield is blank. But now there's an image, a moment, a shadow of something real that breaks the spell. It doesn't matter whether the footage showed a laser, a hypersonic round, or a directed energy test gone right. What matters is that something happened, something outside the realm of fifth-generation warfare, and the world saw it. Now that ambiguity is no longer just a deterrent, it's become a source of anxiety, not just for adversaries, but for allies, observers, and defense thinkers around the globe. Because if the F-47 can do even half of what that leak suggests, then every assumption about future air combat just became obsolete. And the Pentagon's silence, that's the most chilling part, because sometimes the only thing scarier than a confirmation is none at all. Section 5. The global implications. While America was building the F-47 in secret, its rivals weren't idly watching. They were innovating too, especially China. Beijing's J-20, the stealthy twin-engine fighter often dubbed the Mighty Dragon, is now rolling off production lines in serious numbers. It's not just a prototype fleet anymore. It's an operational force deployed across multiple regions, backed by an integrated kill chain of sensors, missiles, and long-range surveillance systems. But in late 2024, something new emerged from Chengdu. Satellite images first picked it up. A strange delta-shaped airframe parked outside a hangar. Dark, tailless, sleek, its shape unmistakably designed for extreme stealth. Then came a blurry video clip showing the aircraft taxiing under heavy guard. Analysts scrambled to identify it. Some claimed it was a modified drone, others a prototype bomber, but the nickname spread quickly, J-36. The timing was no coincidence. China knew about NGAD. They knew the US had been quietly pushing towards 6th generation capabilities, and the J-36, whether a full 6th gen fighter or a technology demonstrator, was China's signal. We're in this race too. But there's a key difference. China has showcased the form of its next gen platform. The US, through the F-47 leak, may have just shown the function. And if that leak was real, if the F-47 actually demonstrated a directed energy strike or a hypersonic no-warning kill, then the US isn't just slightly ahead. It's a full strategic generation ahead. That changes everything. Because deterrence doesn't rely on what you can prove. It relies on what your enemy believes you're capable of. And right now, Beijing, along with Moscow, Tehran, and every military observer on the planet, has to reassess what a US air campaign might look like in 2030. War planning shifts, defense spending pivots, entire doctrine trees get rewritten. Some analysts say it could make war more likely, pushing adversaries to act before the gap widens. Others argue the opposite, that it strengthens deterrence, discourages miscalculation, and gives diplomacy new leverage. But one thing is certain, the balance of power in the air just tipped, and no one is sure how far. Section 6. Conclusion. The future has arrived. The F-47 is more than a next-generation fighter. It is the embodiment of a paradigm shift, the crossing point between manned aviation and machine intelligence, between conventional warfare and the dawn of something entirely new. This is a jet built not for speed or style, but for information warfare, for invisible strikes, for directing unmanned squadrons like a battlefield general, for disabling, outmaneuvering, or annihilating threats before they even enter visual range. Its weapons may never appear on radar. Its movements may never be heard. Its role isn't just to dominate the skies, it's to rewrite how wars begin and end. And that leaked footage? Maybe it was a slip, maybe it was deliberate, a warning, a signal, a mistake. Whatever it was, it confirmed what some feared and others hoped. The sixth-generation race is not theoretical. It's not coming later. It's not waiting on budget approvals or research milestones. It's flying, right now, somewhere above the desert, behind secure fences and classified airspace. The F-47 is already real, already training, already integrating with the systems that will define the next war, or with luck prevent it. And the most powerful part? The Pentagon never planned to tell you, because when the future arrives early, it tends to arrive in silence,